Man, y'all know the face, y'all know the name. Y'all tuned into the World for this podcast, Talking CheB podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mr. It's a Movie Piece, Real Talk. And I got a special guest here with me. As y'all know, this is a major day. We got visuals. The streets gonna see what we've been on for 150 plus episodes.
Come on.
I got a special guest here with me, and y'all know in traditional Talking CheB fashion, I do not introduce my guests. I said it one more time. I do not introduce my guest. So, guest, please introduce yourself.
So, I mean, he didn't even tell me I was going to introduce myself, but I guess, you know what I'm saying? So, my name is Darian Duah, CEO of CheB. We're in fashion tech. So, depending on how much you know about tech, you know, we're in the Web3 space. We're creating the first fashion ecosystem on the blockchain backed by authenticity. If you don't know what that means, that literally just means that we work with stores and we work with brands to promote same-day purchase and pickup. Also connected with over 100 plus carriers around the world. And so it's just making sure that we're trying to bring business back to entrepreneurs, back to small businesses, and everything is tracked on the chain, making sure that you get an authentic item every time you purchase it.
Fire. My brother, how you doing today? How's your day going?
I mean, it's been a long day, man.
We've been grinding,
a very long
bro.
day. A lot of networking. You know, someone like me, I network with water. So if I'm tired, I'm tired. So, you know, just talking, getting a lot of insight today from people who've been in the industry for a long time, adding a lot of insight. You know, now I just have to do my due diligence to reach back out to them, most likely tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But reach out to them, make sure that, you know, we can build that small relationship that can build up over time that, you know, you never know what could happen. But, you know, that's my mentality today, just optimistic about the future.
I feel that. So let's take it to the beginning. Yeah. How did we meet, bro?
Literally, we met at Hugh Capital's event.
Shout out to Hugh Capital, man.
Shout out Juju. Shout out Magic. Y'all are some real ones.
Shout out to Juju, man.
Yeah. So that's where we met. You know what I'm saying? We're in the founders circle. Mm-hmm. You know, I was number one or number two.
I think you're number one.
I was number one, so we had the chance to sit on sitting on the couch, and then people who had number two had to find people sitting on number one. And I was talking to someone, so my brother right here, he pulled up, but it was mid-conversation, but, you know what I'm saying, I'm not just going to let a conversation end. So as soon as I ended that conversation, business networking done, I got up, I'm like, yo, let's talk. And then we're just talking, and we're like, damn, we both doing some big, can you curse on here?
Yeah, it's a talking cheap.
We're both doing some big things in our own ways, different industries. You know, he has his candle business too. So as soon as he started showing off the scents, it took less than maybe 3 sentences. He said, yo, I got candles too here.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I was in good company. Like I said, shout out to Juju, shout out to Hugh Capital. You know, it's funny, that was my first Hugh Capital event, and I was like, you know what, I want to network and connect with like-minded individuals, and that's why I went. So when I saw you and saw what you was doing, and you was telling me about your app, and the same way I have my candles is the same way you was with your app, and I was so impressed by that. You know, because a lot of people talk a lot of big game, especially in like the founder space or in like the venture capital space. A lot of people just talk about these ideas and sell ideas. A lot of people don't have like a MVP or a most valuable product. Mm-hmm. You know, so when I saw that you have an app that's already working and you already doing these things, and then I actually went on LinkedIn and you got your MBA, I was like, this guy's different. And then you from Ghana, even though we know how the jollof rice thing goes, you're a good dude and you really out here really making things happen.
Look, so if you have problems on the toilet, you know you ate Nigerian jollof.
You know what? We're not doing that. We're not doing that on this podcast.
Indigestion is real. That's crazy. With Nigerian jollof.
That's crazy, because if I tell you about Ghanaian jollof rice in the bottom of the pot, y'all gonna say I'm a bad person.
Meanwhile, that's the best piece of the jollof too.
With that crunchy ass rice. But all jokes aside, like I just felt like you was just a great person. You have great energy, and you're so dedicated to what you're doing. And I felt like what you were doing so innovative, because I've never seen somebody, you know. So before we get into the app, I want to start early. Like, how did you get into like business and entrepreneurship, and what was your earliest entrepreneurship endeavor?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, before I get into that, I just want to make sure, I wish I said it earlier, if you want to check us out, depending on when this come out, you can just check us out, cheb.co. So that's CHEB.co. That's our landing page. And if you want to try out the demo as well, that's going to be store.cheb.co. store.cheb.co. So store.cheb.co. But to your question though, when it comes to how I started off background wise or for the business or how they both merged together.
Let's go through the whole journey.
Okay, so when you talk about the whole journey, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I'm saying you're talking about now we're pushing 18 years. Family market, we sell just about everything you're looking for. So if you're looking for goat meat, oxtail, you're looking for spices, you're looking for the wood that you chew on just to make your teeth better, you can find that at the store.
Wow.
So we built that trust through the community, and I was there from the very beginning. And when it came to building the store, the wood in the store, putting it together, being a cashier, and I was before all this tech was there for the register, so I had to actually remember all the prices because Ghanaians and Nigerians will violate if you don't know it.
They will find a way to finesse you if you let them.
They will violate. So I really had to be on my P's and Q's at such a young age, and I missed out on birthdays, I missed out on events, I missed out on programs to be with the family, not by choice. It wasn't my choice, but I still did it. And from there, I just built up that type of resilience just to keep on working. Being that now I missed out on what you're supposed to be doing in childhood, it's like I missed out on it. I moved forward. But overall, I always just had that mentality of just trying to be a businessman. It didn't really happen because I went to Catholic school. It didn't really happen because if they found out you were selling stuff, at that point, you're just going to be in and out. So it really started when I went to university, you talking about freshman year, I was selling everything. You talking about do-rags to white boys with straight hair. You talking about kente bags to people who knew nothing about Ghana. You talking about jewelry. You talking about chips. You talking about water. I'll sell chips and water too, just things you don't have, but I'm going to find a way to make sure you need it. And I was also influential on campus as well. I was going out to parties, and I was very involved in all the clubs, which is why my GPA was dropping. But I was in every club, though. I was in BSU, ACSU, NAACP. I was in Naturally Me that came out later. I was in QU Democrats. I was in QU Republicans. I was in the QU.
Where'd you go to college at?
I went to Quinnipiac University.
You went to Quinnipiac? Or the Piac?
This nigga said Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac.
Really?
University.
What was that like?
Because
that's a large PWI.
Because I already went to a white Catholic school, it wasn't too difficult to assimilate. However, though, my intention was never to assimilate in that way because I wanted to branch out to people that look like myself. Because that's what I wanted at Quinnipiac. The year I came at Quinnipiac was a worst year diversity-wise for some reason, where we started off with 6 black men, and by the end of my freshman year, there was 3 or 4 of us. And so we was just separated, we all intermingled with different groups, so we all found our peoples. But, what kept me grounded was that my peoples, like my brothers, they all went to public school not too far away. So anytime after school, I'd be going to play basketball on the block. My cousin had a basketball hoop in his backyard. He had a basketball hoop on the street. So everybody in the neighborhood would come together just to play basketball. And that's when I was shining. So that really made me want to go look for people that look just like me when I went to Quinnipiac. All the classes I was in was predominantly white. But you should understand what you're getting yourself into when you're going to a predominantly white institution. And at that, you're talking about coming from an African household. So this first generation, HBCUs wasn't even in the conversation. I personally didn't know about HBCUs.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So you talking about, so at that time, like what were the schools that your parents were really like, advocating for you to go to?
So it was, of course, Ivy.
You're going to Columbia? Have you thought about Harvard?
Schools I knew I wasn't gonna get into because I was a class clown in high school. I'm like, yo, I'm a B plus student. I'm not going into Harvard. I'm not going into Columbia, but I'll put in one application just so y'all happy. So I got into St. John's. I was really gonna go to St. John's because of Shamori Ponds. Mm-hmm. Shamori Ponds was the reason why I was Ain't no dick riding in this. But he was the only reason why I was gonna go to St. John's to watch the basketball team.
St. John's at that time, the basketball team was crazy.
If you know, you know. But that was the only reason. But St. John's scholarship wasn't looking right. I also got into NYIT, New York Institute of Tech.
Yeah.
Scholarship wasn't looking too good, so I said, you know what? And there's some other schools. You know, my guidance counselor, she didn't really help me out. So I didn't know that SUNY schools existed. I thought it was just, I'm thinking, yo, why is all these private schools? Why are all these more than like $50,000? I'm like, but I didn't think too much of it. I didn't care about school too much. School was slow to me, you know, especially from when cause I was in preschool in Ghana. So I was fairly accelerated from what they were teaching. So when I came here, I was always ahead and had an active mind. So I never paid attention. So that's why they just deemed me as a class clown or couldn't pay attention, because I was always saying, even in Ghana, they taught me how to do multiplication, like 111, 122, 133, or 224, 22, and 236. I tried doing that in kindergarten. It's like, no, we don't do that over here. I'm like, this is faster. You want me to do 2 times 2 equals 4? Like, come on, you lost me. So, always active mind. Same thing in high school. I was just bored. High school, I probably could have done better. I just never studied. So me being a B plus student, that's from not studying. So that can go either way, but that's how Quinnipiac came into the picture. They gave me the most amount of money, of student loans as well. So I was just like, you know what, my sister already goes here. It shouldn't be too bad. You know, I don't know too much about Quinnipiac, but my sister goes here. I feel like, because she goes here, it's going to be cheaper, 1. And then 2, I just make my own path while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? She has her car here. She got a kitchen. I can make food. Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's dope, because I never thought about it from that perspective. Like, your peoples go there, you have an opportunity to really maximize that opportunity, and you was hustling and really getting to it. At what point did you realize, while at Quinnipiac, that you like, all right, you know what, I can
Stop
really...
it. That's my alma mater, Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac, man.
Come on, that's my alma mater.
Quinnipiac. The streets now know it's
Remember,
Quinnipiac.
he said MBA, so I got my undergrad and my graduate degree, so I need you to say Quinnipiac.
Did you get your MBA from Quinnipiac as well?
Yeah.
Damn, okay, you must have loved that school.
Nah. They gave me the chance and I took it.
Yo, you got the ball, you got to shoot the rock.
Yeah.
You got to shoot the rock. But like I was saying, at what point did you realize like business was what you really wanted to do in college? Like at what point did you see like, okay, I was really making a difference, things were being changed, I was making a real impact in that space? Like, when did you realize that this is what you really wanted to do?
So I didn't want to be in business. I won't lie to you. I just sold on the side, and there was a level of happiness to it. So even when I was in biology, I hated it. I mean, I wasn't doing my best because I was partying. I was partying the night of a test. So it's like, it's already biology. I got lab reports due. I'm out folks. I'm enjoying life. I'm in clubs. So business. So then I switched to my major to psychology. That was my second major before I switched it to my third. In psychology, I just started selling more food and water to people. And I'm like, as soon as I would walk into the library to study for psychology, somebody would hit me up, be like, yo, I need some chips, I need some water. I'd be like, I bet I'm leaving the library. For some reason, I was fun to me. Just the fact that I was able to sell and get fast money right then and there. And so even that's when my GPA actually went up, when I was living like that. Where I'll study when I study, and I was just active. Anytime you hit me, because I didn't want the next man to win. Anytime you hit me, I bet I'm outside. I don't care if I'm eating. I don't care if I'm watching TV. I don't care if I'm on the other side. Bro, I will walk. It was probably a 10-minute walk. I will walk from one part of campus all the way back to my dorm just to get them what they needed, and they come for 2 minutes and then they leave. And I'll just stay in my room and I'll study. So business came during COVID, because that's when I changed to my third major. I didn't want to be in psychology anymore, especially when I found out what it took to be a psychiatrist, and the lack of people of color, the lack of color in general. You know, the textbooks they give you for psychology is coming from white, I'm not going to say test subjects, but white. They had a focus on white people, white men, women, children. So I'm like, all right, And as I was hearing it from other black men who are also psychology majors, it's just like there's not much of an avenue for you to really shift outside of a psychiatrist, which is just straight debt, to hear other people's problems. I would never do that. I'm not gonna lie, that's not for me. Or being a part of the school system, and especially coming from the household I was coming from, there's no way I'm gonna go into work for a school. 'Cause at that point, that's like people saying my parents failed at their business. So that's when I got into political science. I was focused on going to law school. COVID happened, and I had so many credits because I took classes during J term. I took classes during the winter term. I took classes in high school, like college course classes. So I just had an abundance of credits that they're like, yo, you got so many credits. You know what? Put your name in the ballot and try to see if you can get into the MBA program. And so all I needed to do was take like 3-4 classes and get a minimum of a B, and I could get into the program. So once I asked my pops, I'm like, yo, pops, what do you think? I'm focused on law school right now. You think I should put my hand in the ballot and, get into finance and see what can happen with business? He said, yo, you never know what's going to happen in this life. You may as well just try it. So I put my name into the ballot. I think the lowest grade I got was a B. That was from accounting. That's when I knew accounting in me was never gonna.
Accounting's one of them ones, bro. Bro. Accounting for me, it was macro and micro together.
What?
I was like, bro, I'm like, God, y'all got it. I got it. So I get it. I get it.
So shout out to everybody I know with a CPA, but accounting made me know that's not my life. But that was the lowest grade I got. And you're talking about someone that never took a business course my entire 3 to 4 years at Quinnipiac. That now I'm taking business classes to get into a graduate program, and it's COVID, so there's a lot more technology being used. So I was still able to maneuver, take the test, and I got in. So that was my introduction to just getting the MBA, but not my personal business though.
Okay, that's dope. So let's take it to the next level, right? So you graduate from Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
All right, make sure I said that right.
See that right?
Shout out to the QPs. So you graduate from Quinnipiac.
Uh-huh.
You got into the MBA program. Mm-hmm. What was the next step in your process?
Process like how though?
Like navigating the MBA, networking connections, because a lot of people don't know, like, the MBA is really a lot of connection and networking. Mm-hmm. So how did you navigate that space? Also being that it's at a predominantly white institution, so there wasn't a lot of black people probably in the program as well. So how were you navigating that space, like doing the MBA as well as navigating spaces where you were probably the only one that looked like you in that space?
So surprisingly, it wasn't as difficult as you're making it sound. Quinnipiac had really, you're talking about COVID. You're talking about a lot of people stopped applying for schools in general. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of schools had to raise their acceptance rate because of COVID. A lot of schools had to focus on going for students that came from alumni. A lot of schools just like, yo, everybody's not going to school anymore. What's going on? So, I don't know what happened at Quinnipiac when they reached out to me because I had an abundance of credits and said, yo, may as well try out to get your MBA. And, being that I am who I am, first thing I looked up is which MBA degree gets you the most amount of money. I saw finance. I said, you don't got to tell me twice. You know what I did that summer for COVID? Yo, I watched videos on mansions. I watched videos on cars. And I took some courses on Coursera to understand the introduction to finance, mm-hmm. and just learning more about the terminology, learning more about how to work on Excel sheets. So I was doing that side to side, so get some motivation for the money, and then also learn what I'm about to start in my new endeavors, because I knew nothing about finance. I knew nothing about business classes at all. I just knew how to make money with small goods and items, and that's from my parents. Yeah, so I didn't have the network like that. We did have a professor at the university that my sister was in tune with, because she became a business major, Professor Wudu. He's actually Ghanaian, and there was a good family connection. But I didn't need him for a referral to get into the program. I just had to make sure I took the right classes and then got a certain grade to then pass on to the next level. So I didn't have no C. I couldn't touch a C. The lowest I could get was a B. So that's why that whole summer, mansions, foreigns, and then classes. That's all I did.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So let's talk money talk, right? Because it sounds like money really was like one of the motivating factors for you, not only to pursue an MBA, but also just trying to make sure that you stay through and finish an MBA.
Yeah.
Why is money so important to you at that point more than ever? And how does the money change as you start to go into your entrepreneurship journey?
So I may make it sound like money is everything, but money is only a tool to live the life you want to live.
That's true.
And that doesn't mean that you have to buy a yacht or live in a mansion. It's just ask yourself what food is in your fridge. Ask yourself if your toilet is working, if the light right here is working, if transportation, you try to figure out what to do, the clothes you wear, sneakers you buy. Money is just a way of saying I don't have to limit myself, And so, that's how I see money as an extension of what I'm able to do in the world, of being able to travel, being able to eat certain types of food. What I'm saying? Even those steakhouses overpriced the regular steaks, I can go to some diners that taste better. But, money is that tool to say, I went to this, I don't want to name them in case they sponsor in the future.
Shout out to the future sponsors, man. Shout out to Immaculate Scent, the therapy for your senses, the vibes of the seasons. Shout out to Peace International Market, 3240 Richmond Terrace, Staten Island, New York. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everything Immaculate, the drip of the season. You know the vibes, man. I don't gotta talk too much. Shout out to CheB.
That's a fact.
Future sponsor.
Future sponsor for sure. Different setup in the future.
Definitely got the CheB sneakers.
Come on.
CheB back wrap.
Come on.
CheB face mask.
Come on.
Darian face right up the back.
Come on. I used to like me in college football. Whole face. What?
CheB jollof rice.
Yeah, and that shit it's gonna be fire too, because you know where it's coming from.
It's gonna be in the garbage.
He says that. Meanwhile, I won't even tell him it's jollof when it happens. He just gonna eat, be like, yo, this shit fire. What is this? It's Ghanaian jollof.
Okay.
Come on.
But like kind of what we were saying, like the money.
Yeah. Money. I wouldn't say money is. To me, money is not the root of all evil. It's as
The love of money.
The love of money and what you're willing to do for the money is what makes you evil. But overall, to me, money is just your way of living the life you want to live. We all have visions of how we want to live in this life. Is why we all aspire to either work in finance, engineering, entrepreneurship, medicine. I'm seeing a lot of nurses going to Cancun and Jamaica. They work in long hours for Cancun and Jamaica.
Man, I don't sidebar. I'm just saying this. I think nurses travel more than flight attendants.
Come on.
I'm telling you this now, bro. Nurses are medical flight attendants. I'm calling it out now. These women work 3 days a week being Dubai, in Lisbon, Ibiza,
that's a fact.
Santorini.
That's a fact.
Places I never spoke in my life. Just living. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Y'all have to wash people naked, clean people's poop, all of that, just to be in Santorini. I don't knock it. Yo, do what you gotta do, queen.
But that pretty much just speaks to what I'm saying. That they're working hard hours, the labor is intensive, but then after all of that, they get to live a life that they want to live. So they're not thinking of, how we just talk about, money is evil. I just worked hard, so I should be able to enjoy myself. That's true. And so that's how I looked at the finance. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going to go into politics. I was going to go to law and then politics because I was thinking about being a lobbyist. Except COVID kind of changed my view about lobbyists because there was a lot of people dying. There was a lot of people looking for finances because jobs were firing people, starvation. I'm like, yo, y'all keep arguing about the same stuff. There's people literally going through it. And you guys are talking about, let's talk about the border. What the hell is the border going to do about people dying? COVID is already here. It's not like the people from across the border is going to bring more of COVID. COVID is here already, so they just allowing people to die. I'm like, honestly, I can't lose my morals to be a lobbyist, to be able to sit here and listen to this. So, that's why I made that shift to say, this. I'm in the position to get a finance degree at the graduate level. So I may as well just go all out. So, that's where the money came into play about my aspiration and figuring out what I wanted to do in the future. Quick money. Finance is quick money. Politics is 15 years.
You gotta invest a lot of time into that.
Come on. So I was not gonna use up all my time on that. Yeah.
So when and this is my last MBA question, but like when you're in the MBA, do you have to write a thesis or like a dissertation, or how do you graduate with an MBA?
So we did, but man, I wish you didn't ask me that question because I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. It was a good paper though. I think actually no, I do remember it was a group assignment though, and my section of the paper was writing on how Quinnipiac you're talking about a lot of kids aren't going to school anymore. You're talking about schools losing a lot of money. Outside of the board of trustees are really financing most of universities. And so the project was, how can we make Quinnipiac more money, or how can we add more value to the school? I don't know if Quinnipiac has patented our paper. I mean, if I see certain things about it, which I have seen, because someone in the paper did talk about bringing beer into the den, and now they add beer to the den for the hockey games. So we should have patented a little bit.
My man saying, run his coins, Quinnipiac.
Come on.
Run him his coins, King.
Whoever read my paper, you know who wrote it. but that wasn't mine though. So mine was, how can we add value to students? And I looked into the statistics about how many jobs are within the area. So you're talking about Hamden, Wallingford, North Haven, Hamden, Wallingford, North Haven, New Haven. You talking about, man, I forgot the towns. There's so many around. But you're talking about there was 5,000 open jobs available. Now, granted, I don't want the people who are looking for jobs now out of work, because now Quinnipiac students are now doing the job. But at the same time, if you're telling me to pay $72,000 and I can't get a job after this, that means there's something wrong here. I didn't pay $72,000. If I paid it, I would have been back. That's when I really would have learned about SUNY universities.
Shout out to UB, man, Buff State, Damon. Not Damon, but I like Damon. Shout out to Damon. Yeah. But like, shout out to all the SUNYs, Albany. You know what I mean? Shout out to, Geneseo, I guess. Mm-hmm. Binghamton, all of that. Yeah, shout out to the Plattsburgh, you know. Shout out to the SUNYs, definitely.
So, but in just doing data analysis, I found out there was 5,000 jobs in a local area that students could literally do part-time schoolwork and then part-time work. And this is a way of putting it on your resume, and it's now adding more value to the school because the school is giving you a job, is making sure that, imagine if it was done before. RPI does it where they make sure that their students take a year off or a semester or a year off to work an internship. Mm-hmm. Quinnipiac could have done the same thing, either part-time or full-time. I'm not sure, but look at the current economy. Everybody's looking for a job, an internship, a temp role. Everybody's looking for something. So imagine if those 5,000 jobs you tapped into it earlier, you could have at least had some type of work. Because now it's on your resume. You can now go to the table, be like, yo, I've done this work already. Now let's talk numbers. And that's a new employee. So that was my section, And so I just looked at how we can add more value to the school through internships and work experience. It's very important for the MBA. I got very lucky for my job because I had to get an internship before I can get into the MBA program. And so I worked for a town hall in Beacon Falls, and I was working in the finance department. And so my first interview, they denied me. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna hit you back." It was $184 bi-weekly, and it was probably around 35 hours a week. So just imagine that's what I'm trying to get an internship at, a place where I'm not getting no money. $185, $84 bi-weekly. Nobody's living off of that. That's why it had to be an internship. But thankfully, the person that had gotten the role said, yo, this is too small. I'm going to get another internship. And from there, that they came back to me, and that's how I got, you know what I'm saying? Everything happened for a reason. You know, that's my mentality. Everything, it was a reason why he got the job. He said, I don't want this job no more, and they came back to me. And so that was my first experience in finance. So I'm not going to say I was the best worker there. I was still learning and trying to process everything, but I had no understanding of it. So that was my first learning experience in it, able to understand better. And through there, you know, the coursework was simpler because I could just reference it.
Most definitely. I understand completely. So I guess my next question is like, so what was the next process for you after you graduate with your MBA? Like, so when you got your MBA, did you automatically start making money? Did you already start getting opportunities? Or was it one of those situations where like the MBA was kind of pointless to get?
It took a little bit of time just because I had a political science background. You know, the internship was at a government facility, government office. And so if I'm reaching out to hedge funds, I'm reaching out to just corporations looking for a financial analyst, I don't have what they're looking for because it's never been my experience. And so, you know, that's where the temp roles came up. You know, I got the opportunity to be an AP analyst at a hedge fund. And, you know, being that's my first opportunity, and it's a big name hedge fund. I'm not going to say the name.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But he was getting to that, yeah.
And I wish, yeah. It was enough to pay off the rent when I was living in Bridgeport, but it should have been a lot more for the amount of work that was being done. But, you know, there are only so many doors that open for you at a point of time when you need assistance. And being that was my, you know, job, so I overlooking my resume because I don't have what they're looking for. All the activity I did in the clubs didn't matter. The major I was in didn't matter. The MBA in finance didn't matter because it's like I worked a government role, so it's not like a corporation. But behind that, there's nothing else. So I took on that AP analyst role. I think it was maybe 3 to 4 months. Post-grad, but even that's a long time. Post-grad, getting your graduate degree, you know, I'm asking myself, is it worth it? Did I make the right choice? But, you know, prayer, just keep relearning how you can be better at your craft. And, you know, that's why I got the job, and it just kept going. It's been moving ever since. Yeah.
Dope. Okay, so after you graduate your MBA, you started working.
Yeah.
The money wasn't moneying. Honestly, the money was not money.
He making it sound better.
I mean, because you know what? It's interesting because the money no day. but it's interesting because they always trying to tell you like, hey, if you're a young professional starting off in the industry, you know, the opportunity is worth more than the money. You know, being able to be in that space where you're able to gain knowledge, gain experience, network, you know, connect with like-minded individuals, and just be able to learn and soak up as much game as possible tends to be more valuable than the actual amount of money getting paid, because they want you to be in that market or in that industry for like 3 to 5 years before you really start seeing a bag.
That's a fact.
So at that point, what made you like, were you staying in that space, or were you like already planning your exit route to get out of that space?
Planning the exit route because I was working on my business at the same time.
So which business is this?
So this is CheB.
Okay.
So CheB, 4 years ideation. Idea came 4 years ago. 2 years registered as an LLC in the state of Connecticut, and 1 year now C Corp in Delaware for all my investors out there. So when I worked at the hedge fund, when I moved from the hedge fund in Connecticut to even the nonprofit in Manhattan, you know, I always just put my head down to the workload, put my head down to whatever the manager was asking of me, because I'm like, I have something more outside of here. So I'll work the 9 to 5. I'll go back home, probably 7, 6, get home at like 6, eat food, and then from 7 to 1 o'clock, I'm working on my business. So thankfully the nonprofit was hybrid, because if it wasn't hybrid, it would have been bad.
So when you say nonprofit, what was the nonprofit that you was working on?
So nonprofit was a New York Roadrunners. So I was working the expenses for a lot of the what would you say? A lot of their initiatives. So there were some helping the youth, helping the elderly. You're talking about education and education through running. You're talking about man. Reason why it's so hard to remember is because I was the expense manager of 11 departments. Well, yeah, 11 departments. So it was hectic. I won't lie. And this is as a temp worker. So I'm not even getting paid. It was my second temp job, but another one of those, put my head down. This is an opportunity to then level up. So I just put my head down, I kept on working, and every check I got, half of it was kept for myself, the other half was for the business. Yeah.
So you're working as a temp worker, you're working at the hedge fund,
Yeah.
and you're building your business at the same time.
Well, one was after the other.
Okay.
So hedge fund, then the nonprofit, but during both of those, working on the business.
CheB.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point were you like, you know what, I want to focus solely on CheB?
So I decided that it was time to focus on CheB when I had the belief that we had a working MVP. And I asked the job, what is my current status? And I'm not gonna talk about that, but they said, it's time to go our separate ways, and I had no problem with that because I only brought it up because we were in a different situation, app wise, MVP wise, and I had the belief that this is something I could sell to the masses. I can then go to a VC or an angel and discuss my product with them. So that's when I left. I believe it was June 2024. Yeah, so this year, June 2024.
Wow. So
Yeah.
so this just happened. Like this just kind of happened. Okay,
Yeah.
so still fresh.
Still fresh.
So for those who don't know, what is CheB and where did the inspiration come for CheB?
So I'll start from the beginning. So the idea came 2020. I decided to take, as I said, I was in political science. My aspirations was to become a lawyer or a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. And I decided to take an entrepreneurship course because I wanted to get a quick 3 electives. I'm out. Like, you talking about someone that was already hustling on campus. You talking about somebody that come from parents that are entrepreneurs, family that's entrepreneurs. I'm like, this should be a breeze. 3 credits, and it's COVID too. Hybrid. Oh yeah, this is light work. But I'm the type of person I have to be there physically. So while most of the students, and that's why Professor Tripp, you can vouch for me, I was the only student that was in class most days. Almost, it was very rare that I didn't make it to class. I was in class every day, so that's where we built that bond. And we had to create a profitable business for one of the projects. And my professor had used me as an example. He saw I had some Jordan 1s on retros, and he just said, yo, let's say Darian starts a sneaker business and he figures out how to make that profitable. In my mind, I'm like, man, I sold sneakers, but I don't really think my mind was not creating on a profitable sneaker business. I'm like, man, StockX and GOAT, they have the whole game on lock. It's a waste of time for me to try to figure out my own company and how to be profitable because it's just a project. This is not, oh, I'm going to create this and then make a business out of it. So that's where, I'm not going to lie, CheB came to my mind when I was in the shower. Like, it came to my mind, I'm sure I'm thinking like, yo, I don't have no business in mind. Like, I sold chips and water to people. How can I create a truly profitable million idea business? And then, like, the whole app infrastructure came into my mind. Because I was messing with crypto, because my cousin was in crypto, who's in Atlanta. He introduced me to crypto as a form of transaction. I learned a little bit more about the Web3 space when I was in Ghana. There was an app called, a platform called Earth.io that was introduced to my man Peter. And it was buying a plot of land and, let's say you buy this plot of land and you just hold it. So then when the time comes, as more and more people start using Earth.io, you know, people start developing towns and cities, and when it's time, someone's gonna come to you to purchase this piece of land. You know, Peter, I told him I can't get behind that because you talking about I'm buying a piece of land on a website. I can't, it's not like I can come here and be like, yo, I own this land now. Like, y'all gotta move.
My friend, this is my land. My brothers and sisters, this is my land.
And so I'm like, nah, this is not for me. But still my introduction though. And you know, being I was getting my sneakers from my uncle, I'm like, yo, how can I merge sneakers that my professor had brought up and then crypto together? So that's where, you know, CheB at first was CSL. I can't tell you what CSL means now, but all I remember is CSL was it's a company name already taken in Connecticut. So that's why I changed it. And it's not like I had the mental that I was gonna trademark this name. But for some reason I said, you know what, CSL, someone already has it. Let me do my own thing. And so that's what I thought about CheB. Like the acronym is just cheap buy. And I just thought about CheB, and I'll show you right now. I will show you right now. When I came out the shower, I didn't even finish showering. I won't lie to you. I came out the shower and I just started drawing this.
Wow, that's dope.
And check the date. What does the date say?
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. September 14, 2020.
2020.
Yeah, wow, you really built out the whole website. Retailers, rating for consumers, show sneakers.
I didn't look at StockX. I didn't look at GOAT. It just came to my mental.
Radius, you're willing to go. Condition of sneakers. Yeah, that's interesting.
2020 is when it just came to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, that right there was just like, I mean, just like how people wrote the Bible. God came to them and put into their mind, and that's when they wrote the word. So just like that was my way of, God's way of saying like, yo, this is a business right there in your mind. You know, you don't know where it's going, but you have something to show to the class. And I'm talking about it to the class, and you know, it's our target market. So people just like, yo, like talking about local stores. CheB was meant to be a sneaker and a crypto exchange. Like just put together. So a StockX and a Coinbase put together, where you're just trading sneakers via crypto, and you're trading crypto via fiat currency. So that's what it was supposed to be at first. You know, but that's bullish. That's like you talking about someone that had no tech background talking about creating two different exchanges and putting it into one way. He don't even know how to code if I was to create a website on my own. You know, so that's where yeah, it was a project. 4 years ago, it was just a project. It was not meant to be a business. It was not meant to have a business model. It was not to have any wait list. It was simply a project I was supposed to just create and pass. And so, you know, that's where it passed. You know, I was outside. I would talk to people about the business I created. Say, yo, bro, that's tough. You think about doing something with that? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm going to MBA. I'm about to get some money in finance. Like, I ain't focused on no entrepreneurship, man. Let me go hustle my way in corporate life, get somewhere in corporate, make 130 somewhere, once maybe 5-10 years down the line. I was not focused on entrepreneurship. I'm like, why would I want to become an entrepreneur? Like, and then I took, in my MBA year, I took another entrepreneurship course. And in this course, in the beginning sessions, the professor said, create a business, or if you've already had a business, you know, speak about the business in front of the class, and if people are interested, they can join you. But it has to be a group. You have to find somebody, and you know. So I said, you know what? I done thought about a business already, so let me just spit CheB out here, and you know, only one person from the class came up to me like, yo, I believe in this business, like, you know, and I think it can actually go places because I'm in sneakers and I know a little bit about crypto. I feel like you could really merge the two together, and what you're saying makes sense because nobody has ever done it before. And right now, that's Ben Carew. That's my guy.
Shout out to Ben, man.
Shout out to Ben. Shout out to his family's restaurant as well. West Haven, Connecticut. He Turkish.
Shout out to Turkish food, man.
Shout out to Turkish food. Shout out to Turkish people.
Shout out to Turkey, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
And so that's why I met Ben. And Ben is he was getting his MBA in marketing. So I'm like, yo, this is, you talking about me? I'm thinking about the business. Him, he's thinking about marketing. I'm like, I bet so. Foundation. It's a foundation at least, and that from there, still the same thing: sneaker exchange, crypto exchange, and that's when I had registered as a LLC. Cause I'm like, yo, CEO, CMO, I feel like we could make something happen, and then from there, I could show you. I made an Adobe iteration of CheB. Literally, hold on, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna put the dates too. Hold on real quick, because I just remembered that I had this video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. My fault to the people watching.
Shout out to the people watching, by the way. Make sure y'all support Immaculate Scent, the candle of the vibes. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all go support that on Instagram. The vibes are immaculate. We're not just saying it because we can say it. It's what it is. Shout out to all the scents. If you like the scents, make sure y'all support that. Shout out to Talk Ain't Cheap Network.
Shout out to
real conversations with real people. Like I said, we speaking to a lot of dope people. Immaculate Love Show drops every Sunday. The Dating Corners of the 21st Century. Organic Fatherhood coming out soon. If you haven't been tuned in, there's 3 episodes out. Make sure y'all go check those out as well.
So right here, so I actually posted on my Twitter account. So what is that date right there?
10/21/2022.
So this is the Adobe iteration that I had created. Literally from my mind, going into Adobe, I'm saying I just told myself I'm just gonna put it together. No help. I watched some YouTube videos about how to use Adobe, and I put this together. And you see, it still says crypto. It still says same day purchase and pickup. Still says shipping. Doesn't that look similar to the demo?
Most definitely.
Come on. And so that's what came from my mind. I didn't. Ooh. They trying to get free advertisement off of here.
No, that's dope. I guess my question really is like, how were you able to take that idea that you had from your mind and implement it? Because a lot of people, when they have ideas, they have a hard time being able to just take it from idea to execution or idea to implementation. So how are you able to do so?
God's blessing. So that Adobe video I just showed you, I mean, you can't sell that to anybody. And from there, I actually met someone I knew from high school, Taina. Shout out to Taina.
Taina.
Our VP of design. And I met Taina, and she was good at Figma. And so Taina, I'm just like, yo, Taina, I have this right here. Try to make something of it. And she made a whole Figma prototype of it, trying to sell it to people. But when I had graduated, being that I was working at the hedge fund, I also had gotten into an accelerator program for small businesses. So you're asking yourself, why would someone that wants to be in tech also do an accelerator program for small businesses? But I'm like, yo, knowledge is power. I don't know what's going on here. You know, the professors at Quinnipiac, I'm not going to say no Grammy. I'm going to end it right there. So I'm like, yo, this is experience. This is something to learn. I was the youngest person in the accelerator program by far. And I was creating a tech business that I felt like could help small businesses. That's why I'm like, it makes sense I'm in the small business accelerator program. But that was not the case. My business was not what they were looking for. I was still focused on only sneakers and crypto without really understanding the space, because I only seen crypto as a form of payment. I didn't realize there was really more technically within the chain and creating your own ecosystem. And so over the years, that's why it was easy for me to just work corporate life, because I was focused on creating a sneaker exchange, or a small business exchange with sneakers with the use of crypto for payments. Mind you, crypto is still new. How many crypto businesses you know from 2020 that's still here now?
I was going to say, a lot of them already died out.
Died out, court cases, they paying out debts. The government got them on lock. I'm so happy I didn't start the business back then, because I would not be here now. I would have been in court. I would have been bankrupt.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I would have had no, when I said money no day, yo, that one, yeah, there's no money at that point, because that's millions of dollars in lawsuits. So I'm happy that we're here now, and I'm happy my knowledge of the chain as well as my business model came together. And so that's where trials and tribulations, we got here now to where we also include local clothing brands, well, clothing brands in general. So, just to emphasize what I'm talking about, we have a brand right here, Love Venom.
Love Venom, tap in.
This is coming out from Ohio. You talking about South Co. Right here. It's the South.
Shout out to the South.
And so South Co, I'm pretty sure Alabama or Georgia, it's in the South. And the sneakers I got on,
put them on the table.
I mean, the mic is right here.
It's all right. Forget the sneakers, but the sneakers are the 13s.
So the 13s came from one of our partner stores in Brooklyn.
Are they sending you free sneakers now?
Nah, they ain't sending me free sneakers. Yo, these people, they gotta eat.
I'm just saying, if they send it the free sneakers,
they gotta eat. And so this whole outfit is part of the business model. Like, I love local clothing brands. I love the idea that I'm helping an entrepreneur at the end of the day. I'm helping somebody live out their dreams. They could have went corporate, and a lot of people who are in clothing, they're usually working 2 jobs. So I'm helping them be able to say, yo, my dream is actually worthwhile. I can go full time if I wanted to. I could do this part time because people are believing. And same thing goes for the sneakers, for these sneaker boutiques. You're talking about people who have families to feed. So I'm helping people that it really matters for. Like, don't get me wrong, LVMH, shout out, you know what I'm saying? If you guys want to work, just let me know.
Make sure if y'all want to tap in.
Just like all the other luxury brands. But your finances are set. I mean, to you, for LV to be selling their clothes, it doesn't hurt your pocket. If 50 people to 1,000 people purchase Love Venom, it's not touching LVMH.
It's changing their life, though. I see what you're saying.
So I'm changing. The goal is just helping more entrepreneurs. Not everybody's meant to go to school at this point of time. As we see, it's hard in the market. So everyone's looking to become an entrepreneur. So we look for brands that, they have a story, they have community following, and they're very marketable. And so that's where, what our business model currently is, just working with sneaker stores and clothing brands to promote that same day purchase and pickup that I talked about earlier. And then we also work with over 100 plus carriers worldwide. So the international community can tap into you as well. And then that's where Web3 comes into play. So as my knowledge has grown about this space, it's understanding that it's Web3. It's not just crypto. Crypto is cool just for payments. But crypto is also, depending on your knowledge of it, when you have tokens, they're very volatile. So you go with coins backed by USDC. So that's 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And from there, now you have a whole community that can access. But that's still crypto. The Web3 side, and I'm not going to get too technical, is just allowing us the ability to track everything that's on the platform. So we work with the sneaker stores directly. They go through a whole verification process because we're not going to allow them to sell nothing full. And
no fugazis.
Nothing fugazi. And then for the brands themselves, when it's our time to make our way to Ohio, tapping in with Love Venom so I can work directly with them. So when you want to purchase it, you don't have to go through a middleman. You're purchasing it directly from the designer themselves. And so you're purchasing an authentic item. We utilize AI recommendation models to curate entire outfits for you. Me, I'm just fly, so I can dress like this. But some of y'all don't know how to dress.
He said y'all don't got no drip.
Some of y'all, not all of y'all.
He said y'all got to get y'all drip up.
Some of y'all, not all of y'all.
He said y'all not pushing Pete.
But and that's all right though, because that's why the AI is there to help you.
That's fire.
And so the AI is not only helping us introduce you to new brands, but it's also just allowing you to think of what you can actually style with. So for the seller, we're using AI to bring you to the masses. Don't matter the region, but your goal is to sell more. You know, your goal is to sell more so you can innovate, so then you can go full time into fashion. For the consumers, those who don't know how to dress, those who, I'm saying, time is tight and they just need something to wear, we could put that all together. You get to wear a local clothing brand, you get to support local, you get to wear sneakers from a local sneaker store. And if you don't want to go local, we don't force you to go local. You can branch out to other states, you can branch out to other countries. I just saw a fashion show on YouTube the other day where somebody was creating sweatsuits out of coffee bags. It was fire. Moroccan coffee bags. I'm like, yo, I've never seen this before. If it wasn't for the price point at that point of time,
You might have copped them.
I could have. I swear, I would have been the only person in New York with that on, and I'll be proud of that.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay,
Yeah.
so where you at now? And for those who may not have gotten it, exactly in like in a sentence or less, what exactly is CheB, and how did you do? Why did you name it CheB?
So CheB was cheap buy.
Cheap buy. Okay.
Yeah, cheap buy, and like you actually have to say CheB constantly to keep remembering it. But it's also like, I'm not gonna say it's almost tacky, but it's just like a fun sounding word that you can be like, yo, CheB?
CheB.
CheB?
CheB.
What the hell is CheB?
CheB.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that wordplay to it that I feel like can play on to a lot of people. I mean, CSL, so you could say I'll try to take that from YSL, but it's just CSL.
CSL.
And CSL to me doesn't sell well. CheB sells because you're trying to figure out what the hell is CheB. And at the same time, so what CheB is simply is a hyper-local e-commerce marketplace. Help local brands, sneaker stores reach the audience so then it becomes more convenient and more accessible to the masses. Bringing fashion to you, to your doors, and introducing you to an international community.
Very dope. Yeah. So what is it like being a Black founder, and where are you at in your entrepreneur journey? Like, are you pitching? Are you looking for investors? Like, where are you at in this process?
So because things had taken too long when it was just sneakers and crypto, I was getting tired of the waiting process. And I'm the type that, even the brands and the stores that we're partnered with, I didn't go to them when I just had an idea. I went to them when we had something physical. And the only way I can introduce them to a physical product is I had to bootstrap it. I had to literally work my 9 to 5 so I can pay off our developers to do the job. I had the vision. Taina was able to make that vision to a beautiful design. I'm creating the pitch deck. I'm putting that together, sending it out to people, cold emails, cold LinkedIn's. A lot of people, at that point, sneakers and crypto, that's so niche. That's so niche and unknown territory that nobody's really going to immerse themselves with that because it's nothing relatable. Everybody going to say, I don't really wear sneakers too much. Sneakers, when you look at the statistics with New York, you're talking about of every 4 people, most sneakers are purchased, roughly 1 to 2 pairs are purchased every single year at the price point of $539. And that was the statistics from 2022 when I was doing the research, and it may have changed. But overall, though, it's like sneakers is so much of a niche that I didn't understand of how investors need to make money. I'm thinking, if I connect these businesses with the masses, this would be simple, international, crypto. Oh, this is easy. This is light work. Nah, that was not the case. They was not answering me at all. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to build it myself. I have a team behind me. I'm working. So whatever money I get from work, at that point, I'm not even doing 50-50. This is just 100%. I'm staying with my peoples now. I moved out of Bridgeport. I can just focus on paying for the business. And so when it just came to VCs, I just got tired of having to reach out to people. That's how I'm just going to build myself. A lot of people do not have the mentality. I'm sorry, it's not meant for everybody. But, as independent as I am, if I know that I can make something, like, I may not have the connections, but I'll find a way. I'll find somebody. I'll make something happen. And that's how I did it. I just worked and I built the app myself not build myself. The vision was together with the team, and we gave it to some developers. And now you have the ability that when you see this demo, you have the opportunity to really understand what we're bringing to the masses. It's difficult being a black tech founder. I'm not gonna lie. Most people don't really want to hear what you have to say, and even if they hear you, there's no cultural connection to it. Because I didn't understand how hard it is for people to visualize what I want to bring into the world, because it's all in my mind. So I'm thinking this is simple. If I can think of it and explain it to you, you can think of it. I didn't realize that that's not the case. I was so, it literally took from my commercial. We had a commercial with the first accelerator program. My man who was supporting, he said, yo, bro, every time he was talking, I didn't understand shit that you were saying. But now I understand. I said, nigga, you could have told me that so long ago.
Facts. Be real with your friends who are in these entrepreneurial spaces, bro. Do not cap to them. Do not lie to them. They need you to be real, because if you're not real with them up front, when they try to pitch to these people who absolutely have no idea what they're talking about, and hear people talk to them all the time about how to get money out of them, bro, you're gonna have your bro look embarrassed, bro.
Exactly. And I didn't know that. And so it took for the commercial for him, my parents, just everybody I was talking about CheB to, everybody I was talking about CheB with, for them to understand what I was trying to bring into the world. And that visualization really helped. And that's when I knew that I needed to build a platform for the world to know, rather than constantly just talking to them about what we're doing. As a black tech founder, I'm not going to lie, there's no resources for you in black tech. There are resources if you want to be a small business, if you want to create food. There are so many resources. And I was in the state of Connecticut too, which is top 6 at the time. I don't know where they are now for assisting entrepreneurs. So I'm like, yo, I should be in a good place. But that was not the case. I mean, a lot of it was related to mentors. If you don't know the landscape, it's very difficult to reach out to the funds, because they want, if you don't understand the terminology, you won't understand that you need a co-founder sometimes. If you don't have a co-founder and you're doing it with you and your team, you don't know that you need executive positions. So like CEO, CTO, CMO, if you have those in check and people are solid and they have shares in the company, that's enough for a firm to be like, yo, we believe in what you have going on. We'd like to invest, or we'd like to get you into some funding rounds. So if you don't have the amount of knowledge I've been able to gain about what people are looking for in tech founders, I wouldn't have known. At the same time, because it's black people and black tech is so limited, if you're not in a place where there's a lot of black people in tech, you're not finding anybody. I won't lie. You're not finding resources. You're not finding someone who can put you on. You're not finding someone who can even start to build with you. I'm saying, like, bro, the amount of developers we went through that were black engineers, I think 2. And that, once things were moving too slow, because, they were still learning at the same time. And that's why I just say, we're just going to build with this developer and make it happen. So it's tough being a black tech founder. Some people will even say that I'm not a tech founder because I'm non-technical, but I have a fashion tech company. I'm in tech, but people say because I don't code. And I've tried to learn code, but every time I've tried to learn code, I always thought the business was going to be in a different place. So I put it aside so I can focus on the business. So I tried learning to code 2021, but I always thought the business was going to be in a different position. So I always put it on hold. So I just wish that I said, you know what, I'm going to work on the business and code at the same time. But yeah, being in black tech is difficult. I mean, we just came from an event.
Shout out to Accelerator Con.
Shout out to Accelerator Con. Great investors, great panelists, great accelerators that were there to talk to people. Overall, a great vibe. Definitely pop up to the next annual one. But that was the same case for a lot of the black tech founders there. There are no VCs that want to hear what you have to say. And if they do, it depends what you have to show for it. I mean, the people are watching, we're not going to speak about it, but we already know how certain VCs feel when it comes to black tech founders. And so a lot of the panelists I was able to talk to, a lot of the investors, the only way the conversation was able to progress is because I whipped out my phone and I showed them
You
what
had
we
an
worked
MVP.
on.
Yeah, you had a product to show.
It's not even. It's past the MVP stage. It's the beta.
Yeah, you in beta.
Yeah,
That's a
we
fact.
in beta testing. If it wasn't for that beta, if I showed them that Adobe prototype, yo, come on, you gonna stop the conversation. I wouldn't even be on this podcast right now. I wouldn't even be on this podcast. He would have told me at Hewlin, yo, bro, that's a great idea. Yo, keep going, my brother.
Stay blessed, King.
Stay blessed.
Keep grinding. Keep grinding. Hit you with the keep grinding.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, and you see, the mentality I had earlier is why I'm here now. Just show working. That the prototype I showed you is the same prototype when I go to stores and the brands, I show them this is what we have going on. We're giving you a free service that you can list on. Take a transaction fee. We partner with a third party servicer that makes sure that we connect with over 100 plus carriers around the world, so you can introduce your brand to the international community through us and vice versa. It's like, man, I mean, I know it was all about how it is being a black tech founder. I'm just gonna say it's tough. I mean, people we met there, ex-Google, ex-Meta, ex-Fang, actually just ex-Fang in general, the big tech firms, worked there for 10 years, found a problem, created a solution, and still they can't get investors.
Yeah, it's true.
And at the same time, because I'm in fashion, and I mean, just look at the type of fashion I have on. I mean, you're going to say streetwear.
Immaculate drip, though.
And so it's like, for me to go to a VC who has no cultural connection, no physical connection, because they're not wearing this type of clothes. I'm telling you right now, it's a
button-up pants, blazer, and maybe sneakers, but not like sneakers that you know. It's like sneakers
Spurries.
Like it's like
come on, what?
K-Swiss.
Spurries. Come on. So if I'm talking to them about what I have going on, there's nothing in their mind that's telling them, yo, this is a business right here. They're like, yo, I wouldn't use this platform. So that means that this has no place at my VC firm. No reason I should introduce this to more parties. I'm going to just send them my Twitter account that, hey, I can't get DMs in, but be like, yo, reach out to me though. Yeah, reach out to you in an account. I can't reach out to you.
They won't even answer the DM, won't accept your LinkedIn account, nothing.
Come
bro.
on. So it's like, yes, it was a constant loop. So I'll say that's what you have to understand with being a black tech founder. You really just have to work on the product yourself. Make sure you have the finances to prepare and get things in order. My contact information is gonna be either in the description or I'm not gonna say it on here, but when we have that conversation, if you need that assistance, I could definitely provide you resources that I was able to, through all the trials and tribulations, be able to meet and if I had known, I could have saved so much money, bro.
How expensive is it to be a founder? Because I feel like that's a conversation that most people don't have.
Man, once you understand, I mean, I'm in fashion tech. So that means fashion first. Fashion is, that's already a gatekeeping industry. I mean, thankfully, I didn't create a business that's meant to go straight to LVMH because I would have never made it through the front doors. Mm-hmm. I made it accessible to the masses. I made it accessible to me. And so, finances, I won't lie, like, I'm just going to say, because we had a Figma prototype, because it was a business model, definitely run it up.
You don't gotta say a number. You don't gotta say a number. Like,
just know it didn't touch six figures.
Damn.
Yeah, it didn't touch six figures.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how much money that was being sent for the past 2 years.
Jesus Christ. Okay, understandable. So people want to follow you, connect with you, become potentially a vendor on your platform. Where can they go to do so?
So you can go to our website, cheb.co. That's CHEB.co. If you want to be correct about how we spell the name CheB, it's capital C, lowercase HE, capital B.co. And from there, we have a joiner wait list for people who want to purchase off the platform, and as well those who want to sell as well. We also have a place where you're able to put down your information, put a little bit about your story, so we can understand, add your socials. And yeah, we do our due diligence to research you, to understand what story do you have. We're not going to work with brands that just want to make a quick flip, because that's bad for our brand. If you know what I'm saying, if you go for companies that are just trying to make a quick flip, then they sell and you finally realize that there's no value into the business, you've already introduced them to the masses, so now people are questioning your business
and your credibility. Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's where we work with brands that are really striving to be great in their community first, and then they want to make an impact in international communities, and they just want to be known. It's just people who want to have it be their first job and their only job. Well, not their first job, but their only job, so they can focus on innovating and being creative, because that's what they want to be all along. They just had to work another job. So you can check us out on our website. We're on all socials. Just look up CheB, so CheB.inc. You can find us on X. You can find us on IG as such. You can find us on LinkedIn, CheB.inc. You can find us on TikTok, CheB.inc. We are C Corp in Delaware. That's why INC is after it. Get your paperwork up. You can find us on all socials. You can even read Medium articles about us as well. CheB Inc. Just to understand what we want to bring into the world, a little bit about our journey, some storytelling as well, so you understand how you can imagine yourself as a CheB user, how you can introduce other people that want to be entrepreneurs that's in your close circle, who want to sell, who has a story, who actually have a real design. Because I know people who take designs off IG. I know y'all methods. And just want to sell to make a quick flip. That's not what we're going for. Like, have a story, have people actually mess with you, because then it's easier for us to market you. AI can market you better. We can't market a brand that has no, I'm not going to say no source, because you have to start from somewhere. But if I can see that this is easily just taken off social media, it's like there's no actual motivation to purchase your item. So we got to be able to market it, have to be able to sell it, and from there we can really work. So this is the story. The story is very important. Story is what sells. Your brand equity is extremely important.
Very dope. Yeah. Like I said, I appreciate you, Darian, bro. If people want to follow you personally, can they do that, or are you trying to make sure?
Yeah, you can follow me.
We got to ask these questions just in case anybody want to have you for coaching. Because nowadays people like a coaching session. Let's say if you want to coach,
$1 million worth of game.
Come on.
Okay. So you can follow me on IG, Darian Duah. That's DarianDuah_. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Darian Duah. There's a space, DarianDuah. You can follow me on X, same thing, lowercase Darian Duah. Everything is Darian Duah. You can't find me on Snapchat. What Uzi say? That's too personal. Uzi said that's too personal. You can't find me on Snapchat.
No need to see my Snapchat. Come on. No need to see my Snapchat.
I have a TikTok, but the TikTok was created for the business. Mm-hmm. I'm not really on there like that. Yeah. The goal is just to get into these funding rounds and have the money speak for itself, so we can emphasize marketing. So you can find me on all those platforms. Darian Duah.
Shout out to everyone who's tuned in all the way to the end of this. God bless you. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the vibes. Shout out to everyone who's a talk ain't cheaper. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows there's gems in every conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Talk Ain't Cheap. Like I said, support the brands, Immaculate Scent, Talk Ain't Cheap Network. Just follow the group, the Cletus group for coaching as well. Cletus_Real Talk if you're personal, want to know how I think went outside of all of the business and stuff like that. Shout out to my bro Femi and Be Limitless behind the camera. And shout out to my bro Darian Duah, man. Just a dope individual. I hope you got a lot of gems out of this conversation. And like I said, you're tuned in Talking Cheap. It's not that deep.
That's a fact.
It's a vibe.